Tonight you've really succeeded in getting me lost.
You're being torn by an internal struggle, Don Juan said. Down in the depths of you, you know that you are incapable of refusing the agreement that an indispensable part of you, your glowing coat of awareness, is going to serve as an incomprehensible source of nourishment to naturally incomprehensible entities. And another part of you will stand against this situation with all its might. The sorcerer's revolution is that they refuse to honor agreements in which they did not participate. Nobody ever asked me if I would consent to be eaten by beings of a different kind of awareness. My parents just brought me into this world to be food like themselves, and that's the end of the story.
Don Juan stood up from his chair and stretched his arms and legs.
We've been sitting here for hours. It's time to go into the house. I'm going to eat. Do you want to eat with me?
I declined. My stomach was in an uproar.
I think you'd better go to sleep. The Blitz has devastated you.
I didn't need any further coaxing. I collapsed onto my bed and fell asleep like the dead. At home, as time went by, the idea of the flyers became one of the main fixations of my life. I got to the point where I felt that Don Juan was absolutely right about them. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't discard his logic. The more I thought about it and the more I talked to and observed myself and my fellow men, the more intense the conviction that something was rendering us incapable of any activity or any interaction or any thought that didn't have the self as its focal point. My concern, as well as the concern of everyone I knew or talked to, was the self. Since I couldn't find any explanation for such universal homogeneity, I believed that Don Juan's line of thought was the most appropriate way of elucidating the phenomenon. I went as deeply as I could into readings about myths and legends. In reading, I experienced something I had never felt before. Each of the books I read was an interpretation of myths and legends. In each one of those books, a homogeneous mind was palpable. The styles differed, but the drive behind the words was homogeneously the same. Even though the theme was something as abstract as myths and legends, the authors always managed to insert statements about themselves. The homogeneous drive behind every one of those books was not the stated theme of the book. Instead, it was self-service. I had never felt this before.